Hey everybody, Chris from How to Tesla here. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about all the reports that are coming out about the four unnamed sources that are talking about the Model 3 performance that goes into production at the end of this year, 2023. Some of the details that they're saying, which there are definitely not many details, but basically all they're saying is there's going to be a slight interior refresh specifically regarding the screen, and then also a performance update on the Model 3 performance. So my take on this, if you look at the Model 3 performance 2022 to 2023, your main differences are really just the build quality seemed to really step up. It became much, much better. Very few issues as far as the paint goes, the trim, panel gap issues seem to be reduced by an order of magnitude, which is really, really good because they've been struggling with these things for quite a while. And it's nice that all of the newer Model 3 performances that are coming out aren't really at least aren't having reported a lot of these issues. So I think that's really, really good. And hopefully with the new ones, we'll see further improvements along those lines. But as far as the actual performance goes, now, the first time I drove Model 3 performance, I was on a test drive, and it was my first time ever driving a Tesla. I'll tell you what, that 0 to 60 in 3.1, it blew my mind. I had never felt a car go so fast, so quickly in my entire life. Now, I did end up buying a Model Y performance, and that goes 0 to 60 in 3.5, and you can definitely tell a difference. I mean, it's still really, really fast, especially for an SUV, but it's not as amazing feeling as that 3.1. I'm sorry, it really isn't. In fact, I probably would have got the Model 3 performance had I not had to travel so much for work, where I'm constantly having to lug in big suitcases and pack the car full of stuff. And it's just constant road trips all the time. So the Model Y performance does tend to work out a little more conveniently for me as far as loading and unloading everything. But, oh man, that 3.1 feels so good. So if they're actually looking to improve that on the ones that are going to be produced at the end of this year, I'm all for that. I am all for that. Especially given the fact that they said that in the manufacturing process, they're doing things to reduce costs, which potentially could mean that we may get the new Model 3 performance at a less expensive price than what it's currently being sold at. That would absolutely blow my mind. I would be so happy for those going out looking for a new Tesla and being able to get that much power at such a good price. I would really, really... It's like I almost want to kick myself for buying my Tesla during this past summer when prices were at the highest that they've ever been. I mean, I had to get the car when I had to get the car, but man, I couldn't fathom being able to get that for even less. Now, as far as the interior and the screen, I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about, whether it might be just putting a better processor in there to get a more responsive screen, or if they're looking at perhaps adding pixels or a higher refresh rate. Personally, I in my Tesla, I never have any issues with responsiveness. I don't notice the pixels, and I've never run into any challenges with any of it. So I'm not sure if that's really what they're talking about, or if they're talking about like completely redesigning it. Another thing that they did with between the 2022 and the 2023, they also took away the ultrasonic sensors, which are the sensors that tell you how close your vehicle is to an object. They upgraded the camera system and are now using the software to use the cameras to tell you how close you are to something instead of using the ultrasonic sensors. And I'm assuming that they made that move knowing that they should be extremely comparable, if not potentially better in the future. So that doesn't really concern me so much, and I'm sure the ones that are going to go into production at the end of the year are also going to be using just the camera-based system. So I'm not sure how big of an upgrade we're going to see. I would really like to see an exterior change. The Model 3, it's looked the same for a really long time. You cannot differentiate the model years between each other because they're so minute and small. It would be really nice if they were to make it more aggressive looking, especially if they upgrade the performance on it. That would be absolutely amazing. I would be genuinely excited about something like that. And then another thing I really like about the Model 3 performance is the battery technology, the LFP batteries. You can charge to 100% every time, and it's not going to degrade the battery like it does with the other Tesla models, with the older battery technologies. So hopefully they keep with that in the new ones that are being produced. They haven't officially announced yet what any of the changes are going to be, but this was just a leak from 4 unnamed sources. I've read a few different articles about it. Nobody seems to know who the guys are. But yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of where we're sitting now. Nobody really knows much of anything. And with 4 unnamed sources, who knows if the reporters are making up a story or if this is something that's legitimately happening or not. I guess we'll have to wait and find out when they do the announcement. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed my perspective, and I'll see you next video. Thanks.